Classroom Dynamics is supported by Logitech. As education continues to evolve, so does Logitech Education, your partner in content creation for the classroom. With Logitech's cutting-edge technology, students not only learn but also become content creators. Whether it's in person or online, Logitech's tools are designed to inspire educators and learners alike. Capture every educational moment in stunning detail and edit, produce, and share your creative journey with ease. Logitech Education, inspiring the next generation of creators. For more, visit logitech.com/education, transforming classrooms one innovation at a time. Every classroom has the potential to be extraordinary, and the Logitech Reach adjustable content camera is your partner in making that happen. With its flexible arm and clear video, you can now showcase everything from detailed drawings to live experiments, ensuring that every student is engaged and involved. Whether you're teaching in person or online, Logitech Reach helps you connect with your students in a whole new way. Ready to take your lessons further? Visit logitech.com/reach and elevate your classroom to a whole new level. Welcome to Classroom Dynamics, the podcast where we unlock the future of education. Hi, everybody. I'm your host, Adam Todd, and as Season 5 comes to a close, we're taking a look back at the moments that moved and inspired us during an incredible last few months. This past season, we met the educators, students, creators, and changemakers who are redefining what learning can look like. And today, we're rewinding and reflecting on those stories that moved us the most. From a therapy dog with a tech twist who turned our season premiere into a lesson on connection to classroom management strategies that brought structure and joy to the start of the school year, this season was packed with ideas you could take straight into your teaching. We dug deep into the LEAP framework and Brisk AI to understand how empathy, innovation, and critical thinking intersects in today's classrooms, and we saw how performance can be a powerful tool for bullying prevention with Box Out Bullying, proving that storytelling and theater can transform school culture in unforgettable ways. We explored hands-on STEM with At My STEM Space, reminding us that curiosity is still the best fuel for learning, and we stepped behind the camera with Omar Delgado, whose award-winning media program is showing students how to tell stories with both purpose and professionalism. We even built our way into better science instruction as LEGO Education brought engineering, problem-solving, and collaboration to life brick by brick. And of course, we were inspired by 11-year-old nature photographer Tyler Devane, a reminder that curiosity, creativity, and impact have no minimum age. So settle in as we celebrate the educators and innovators who shape Season 5. This is the Classroom Dynamics Season 5 wrap-up. So stay with us for a deep dive with our Google Notebook LM host, Bits and Bytes, right after this. Classroom Dynamics is supported by Higher Ground Gear, featuring the Shuttle 3.0 CS laptop case. Built for students on the move, the Shuttle 3.0 offers 24/7 protection by letting you work directly out of the case. Just open it and go. Its sleek molded design keeps laptops cool, secure, and always ready. And with shock-absorbing corners for drop defense, a grip deck, corner straps to hold your device in place, and clean shell fabric that resists spills and wipes down easily to fight germs, it's protection that never quits. For more, visit hggear.com today.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Our mission today, well, it's pretty straightforward. We've synthesized a massive collection of recent explorations into educational innovations, and we're basically going to give you the shortcut, the key takeaways shaping student engagement and empowerment. We really did have an incredible stack of source material this time, didn't we?
Oh, absolutely. It's quite the range.
Yeah, it truly spanned the spectrum. I mean, from case studies involving like plush dogs in kindergarten classrooms, all the way up to these high-level discussions about integrating AI into high school curricula.
Mm-hmm.
What immediately stood out to me anyway was just the sheer variety of methods educators were using, trying to foster that connection, and curiosity.
It was a fascinating synthesis, definitely. And we specifically looked at how these diverse tools and frameworks, whether it was TurboBo the dog or the LEAP framework or even LEGO Education.
Right, the hands-on stuff.
Exactly. How they were actually deployed to tackle, well, 3 core issues, really. Reducing student anxiety, streamlining classroom organization, and crucially, building that fundamental trust in learning environments. Our deep dive focused entirely on finding that common thread, the thing connecting these successful efforts.
Okay, let's unpack that first major theme then, the one centered around emotional literacy. Because the discussion about the plush dog TurboBo, that was a truly fascinating study, such an unexpected solution.
It really was. And the core finding was, well, almost elegant in its simplicity. TurboBo's presence, this non-judgmental presence in classrooms, it actually helped children express feelings.
How so?
It seemed to lower the barrier and help them build empathy and significantly reduced reported anxiety. Teachers found that introducing this sort of comforting, non-human anger, it gave students a low-stakes way in.
A way to practice talking about tricky feelings.
Precisely. Practice complex emotional vocabulary without feeling judged. It really showed educators that sometimes the most profound mental health tools, well, they come in the softest forms, least threatening.
I love that idea, the non-judgmental anchor. But, my critical question was about scalability. Was this just a novelty, or did the sources suggest the impact actually stuck around?
That's a fair question.
Yeah.
The sources suggested it was lasting because it wasn't just plopped there. It was integrated, woven into the curriculum.
Oh, okay.
The dog wasn't just sitting on a shelf. Its presence acted as a visual cue, like during social-emotional learning lessons.
Yeah.
It helped normalize talking about difficult emotions.
So it was a catalyst.
A catalyst for conversation, exactly. Not just a cute distraction.
Okay, that makes sense. And that concept, leveraging emotional impact, it seemed to extend directly into anti-bullying strategies, too. We looked at the work of Jeremy Rubinstein from Box Out Bullying.
Yes, his approach.
He described using live performance, which felt very different from the usual assemblies or, dry lectures.
And that shift right there, from passive learning to dynamic performance, that
Yes.
seemed to be the absolute key. Theater, live performance. It fundamentally transformed how schools were addressing bullying.
How? By making it more real.
By creating immediate emotional power, empathy, and self-awareness in young audiences. Rubinstein really emphasized that these shows didn't just preach kindness, they created scenarios where students actually felt the consequences of being a bystander, of doing nothing.
That sounds much deeper, much more visceral than just telling kids, be nice. Did the source material show if that performance-based empathy actually led to, lasting behavior change?
It suggested it did. The stated goal was always to convert those passive observers, the bystanders, into active participants, what they called upstanders.
Upstanders, right.
The performance acted as this shared emotional event, something the whole school community could refer back to later. It gave students the language, and maybe more importantly, the sort of emotional rehearsal they needed to step in.
So they felt more prepared.
Exactly. Prepared to interrupt bullying behaviors.
Yeah.
It showed them how kindness really does require practice, not just agreeing with the idea in theory.
Okay, so we have this focus on emotional well-being, empathy. But it feels like all that depth needs a strong container, right? A stable environment.
Structure.
So moving from the emotion side, how do the sources suggest teachers created those foundational routines, that structure that supports this kind of growth, right from day one?
Yeah, that's where organization and consistency really came into play. Teachers explored strategies to build that community feel using specific tools. Things like Shuffle Buddy and Class Dojo came up frequently.
Shuffle Buddy and Class Dojo.
And these tools seemed successful because they helped build immediate momentum for a smoother, more predictable year. Consistency was key.
Tell me more about Shuffle Buddy. That name sounds specific, like it solves one particular problem.
It does, precisely. Shuffle Buddy is designed to streamline classroom organization, specifically for forming student groups randomly or based on criteria.
Avoiding the same kids always working together.
Exactly. Its major success was simple. By digitally shuffling groupings, it disrupted that tendency for the same friends to always stick together. It immediately sparked more diverse collaboration and, well, broader community building within the class.
And it saved teacher time, presumably.
Huge time saver. Solve that perennial teacher problem. How do you create dynamic, fair working groups without eating into precious instruction time?
Okay, so Shuffle Buddy handles the grouping, the mixing it up, and Class Dojo, that was more about the reinforcement side.
Yes, exactly. Class Dojo's feedback features were used to reinforce positive behaviors, like the moment they happened. It helped establish clear expectations and provided visual, immediate feedback.
So kids knew where they stood.
Right. And the insight there was that establishing these foundational routines, consistency, clear expectations, positive reinforcement, it was psychologically crucial. It created that sense of safety that allowed students to then take risks later on.
Okay, and this is where it got really interesting for me. Connecting that structure, that safety net, to actually fostering creativity, especially in STEM. Once students felt safe, they could explore more freely. We looked quite deeply into that intersection of curiosity and engineering, didn't we? Through Lego education and also that educator behind at Mistem Space.
Yes, the structure provided the platform for that essential risk-taking. The Lego education sources, they really highlighted how those kits revolutionized understanding complex STEM concepts.
Because it's hands-on.
It's the very definition of tactile learning. Building, coding, solving problems with physical bricks. This hands-on collaborative approach, it was found to significantly develop things like perseverance.
Because things go wrong, presumably.
Oh, constantly. And communication and those crucial higher-order thinking skills. They weren't just reading about physics concepts. They were literally building the physics, seeing it work or not work.
And the philosophy we saw from Mistem Space, that seemed to reinforce that link between structure and creativity.
It absolutely did. The key insight that Mistem Space really unpacked was how inquiry-based learning empowered students, gave them true ownership.
How did they do that?
The core strategy was cultivating this pervasive what-if mindset throughout the classroom. But that requires a huge cultural shift.
You know, where failure isn't punished.
Exactly. Where mistakes weren't just tolerated, they were actually celebrated as a vital, necessary part of discovery. The argument was, if you establish that consistent structure, you build trust. And then students feel safe enough to ask those audacious what-if questions.
The ones that lead to actual innovation.
Precisely.
Okay, so shifting gears pretty dramatically now, looking towards the horizon, the future of learning. That was crystallized in our discussion around the LEAP framework.
Right. Learning, empowerment, AI, and purpose.
LEAP. So when we talked about incorporating artificial intelligence, which sounds huge and maybe scary to some, what did that conversation actually focus on in the sources we looked at?
It was actually quite a nuanced discussion. AI was generally framed not as some kind of threat or a replacement for that human connection we just talked about.
Okay.
But more as a potential bridge. A bridge to deeper, more personalized engagement and critical thinking. The schools that seem to be using it successfully, they're using AI tools primarily to personalize learning paths.
What does that look like practically?
Well, for example, generating custom practice sets based on a student's specific weak spots. Or automating some of the more routine feedback tasks for teachers.
Ah, so it became a tool for the teacher, freeing up their time, and a tool for the student to get targeted help.
Exactly that. It allowed for personalized instruction in a way that could actually scale. But crucially, the sources we analyzed, they always address the necessary ethical questions alongside the potential benefits.
That's vital.
Absolutely. The conversation acknowledged the complexities around equity of access, who gets these tools, and the vital importance of student data privacy. How do we integrate these powerful digital tools responsibly? That was always part of the discussion.
Okay, responsible integration. And linking that kind of AI-enhanced learning to developing real-world skills, we celebrated the work of Omar Delgado, his high school media program, nationally recognized. That sounded like student empowerment taken to a whole new level.
It really felt like the ultimate expression of trust in students. Delgado had built this thriving, actually functioning culture of student-led media.
So not just a class.
Not just a class, no. It was run more like a production house. He gave learners genuine, real-world experience. Broadcasting, film, digital storytelling. Everything from mastering professional-level equipment to managing serious production challenges, finding their unique editorial voice, the whole package.
And the essential takeaway from his program's success, what was the core lesson there?
It really celebrated the power of giving students not just the tools, the cameras, the editing software, but also the total trust to tell their own stories.
That trust seems key again.
It's fundamental. And the finding was, when that trust is genuinely granted, students overwhelmingly step up to the challenge. And in doing so, they equip themselves with life skills like managing deadlines, collaborating under pressure that went far beyond any standard curriculum.
Looking to spark excitement in your classroom and save time? Head over to Highly Motivated on Teachers Pay Teachers. From engaging lesson plans to creative lab books and test prep tools, these resources are designed to inspire learning and take the planning stress off your plate. Highly Motivated, motivating teaching resources that engage and inspire. For more, search Highly Motivated on Teachers Pay Teachers.
Okay, we've covered such a distance here. From the emotional sanctuary of a plush dog all the way to managing complex digital media production. So wrapping this up, what does this all mean for the individual learner? We ended our explorations by meeting an 11-year-old who seemed to just perfectly embody these goals of student agency and empowerment. Tyler Devane, the young wildlife photographer.
Tyler's story was truly inspiring, wasn't it? Because it showed passion in its purest form. He shared how his photography thing, it began so simply, just observing ducks and geese near his home in Brazil.
Right, no fancy tech initially, just observation.
Just quiet observation.
Yeah.
He wasn't using high-tech educational platforms. He was using patience in his own eyes.
And his process, it really highlighted the discipline needed too, didn't it? It wasn't just about pointing a camera.
No, not at all. His creative process involved intense discipline. He talked about the patience required, waiting hours for the perfect shot, for the right light, the right movement in nature.
And he connected it to something bigger.
Yes, and more than that, he channeled his creativity into direct action. He created that beautiful bird photography calendar, and the proceeds went straight to support wildlife conservation efforts.
Amazing.
His work connected that personal passion directly with a global purpose.
Tyler's story really did close our look at these sources with such a potent reminder, I thought, that creativity truly has no age limit, and that profound inspiration it often hides not in the biggest programs or events, but in the smallest, most fleeting moments, like just watching a duck on a pond.
Absolutely. And if we try to synthesize everything we explored in this deep dive, the core conclusion feels absolutely clear, doesn't it?
What would you say it is?
Well, whether the catalyst was a plush toy, or performance art, or coding bricks, or even a sophisticated digital media program, every single successful educational innovation we reviewed, it was grounded in the same three basic principles.
Which were?
Giving students agency, real choice, and voice. Fostering genuine connection to peers, to teachers, to the material, and encouraging that deep-seated curiosity. Structure seemed to serve emotion, and technology served empowerment.
That sums it up perfectly. We really watched how educators were transforming their approaches by looking far beyond the traditional textbooks, right?
Yeah.
And willingly embracing these sometimes unconventional, maybe even uncomfortable tools.
It's about meeting the learner where they actually are, emotionally and structurally.
Exactly. So the final question we wanted to leave with you, the listener, is this. If simple, maybe unexpected tools like a plush dog or Lego bricks were found to be such profound catalysts for confidence and learning in others, what unconventional tool or anchor, or maybe just a quiet moment of observation in your own life, what might you be overlooking right now that could spark your next big discovery?
For more on Classroom Dynamics, follow us on X at Class Dynamics or on Instagram at Classroom Dynamics Podcast. And be sure to search Classroom Dynamics on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast shows.